Hello, welcome to News Centre. I'm Parikshit Luthra. rp-Sanjiv Goenka Group-backed Firstsource has announced its expansion in the Australian market. The company will set up new headquarters in Melbourne. Speaking to me earlier today, Chairman Sanjiv Goenka said he remains steadfast on his target to increase Firstsource's profits by 2.5 times in 3 years and margins by 3%. He has also hinted that the company could announce an important overseas acquisition soon.
In this industry, when you talk of investments, you talk of FTEs. So you don't really talk of $1 million per se, but you talk of FTEs. So we begin small. We begin with about 300 to 500 FTEs, but we'll grow and we'll ramp it up very rapidly.
Okay, so there's a plan to increase growth and investments rapidly. But why Australia, if we were to ask you? Why did you choose this as your next destination for growth?
There are many corporates who are headquartered in Australia, and we do believe that's an opportunity that exists. It's an opportunity to be grabbed, and you don't have too many major service providers there.
Okay. Now, in terms of the jobs that are getting created, one, onshore in Australia, and does this also help you increase the flow of employees from India to Australia? How many jobs could it create in Australia, and how many jobs from the Indian market?
Typically, onshore-offshore ratios would be 1:3. And so for every job that's created in Australia, you'd expect to see 3 in India.
Right. And what would be the focus of Firstsource's business and expansion plans in Australia right now? You have been saying that AI and generative AI is the big priority for you right now. So can we expect Firstsource to work in that direction with clients in Australia?
Definitely. Definitely, and we do believe we will work on our strengths, on the basic sectors that we operate in, where we excel in. Those are the sectors that we will like to take our experiences from other countries to Australia.
Right. What kind of growth are you expecting in the Australian market? You've already been present in US and UK. How significantly do you expect Australia to contribute to Firstsource's business in the coming years?
I think over a period of time, we do expect Australia to become a significant contributor, and we do believe this is a base. So it's not only Firstsource. We recently partnered with an Australian firm to set up, to sign an agreement to set up a nano-silica project, which will be set up in India. And so our experience with Australia is becoming better, and we're getting more comfortable. We are happy with the response that we get from the government, and we do believe it's an area for potential growth.
Right. If we were to ask you about other global growth opportunities that you are exploring in terms of new markets, which could those possibly be?
Well, as far as Firstsource is concerned, we are expanding in South Africa also in a fairly big way. So that's one big market for us. Australia is another big market for us. India, of course, continues to be the place where the maximum jobs are getting created. We're expanding in US, we're expanding in UK, we're expanding all over actually.
Right. In terms of the capex that you're putting aside, recently we heard that the rp-Sanjiv Goenka Group is putting aside 50,000 crores in capex for the next few years. How much of that is going to be directed towards Firstsource? How much of a priority is this business for you right now?
You know, all our businesses are in a very high growth phase. So we are investing not only in Firstsource, which will grow organically and inorganically. We are also investing in the chemicals business. We are investing in the renewable energy business. We are investing in the power distribution business. It's a phase of very high growth for us. And every sector that we are involved with, we will grow, and we will grow aggressively.
Right. But coming back to Firstsource, what kind of growth targets are you setting for the company in India and globally for FY25 and the next 2 years possibly, if you were to ask?
I've gone on record to say that our target is to increase our profits by 2.5 times over the next 3 years. we stay steadfast on that course. And the last quarter, Firstsource gave the highest growth in revenue terms for the industry, and which we've never had in the past. So it just proves that we are growing faster than the industry. Whether we'll continue to be the fastest or not, I don't know, but we will continue to be amongst the fastest growth rate companies in the sector.
Right. Any acquisitions that are on the cards for Firstsource?
Inorganic growth is a way of life, as much as organic growth is. And as we speak, there are different conversations going on with different companies. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, soon.
Okay, maybe we can nudge you a little more. Is it going to be in the AI space?
Just wait.
Okay.
Just wait. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. All right. If we were to ask you about within different business solutions that you're offering right now, which ones are you most bullish about, or you expect the company to focus on in the greatest possible manner over the next few years?
We do
the number one priority, maybe.
I don't think I'm going to single out just one priority. I mean, if I had to take one objective for Firstsource, it would be a growth in margins and a growth in revenues. We do expect margins to grow by 3% over the next few years, and that's our target. And that's what we are working on very, very consciously. And to have significant growth in our revenues organically plus inorganically. In the past, we used to have one big win in a year. Last quarter, we've had two big wins. This quarter, two already, and maybe a third one. So things are beginning to fall into place. I think customers are beginning to see value in the services we provide. So we do believe that the growth momentum will continue. And we have good margins, but we need to grow it by at least 3 percentage points over the next 3 years.
Right. What kind of policy interventions do you hope from the government so that we can win in future in the generative AI space? Because this seems to be a priority for everyone, including you as well.
This space is evolving every day. And as we know it today will not be the same as we would know it even maybe 6 months from now. So as long as, I think government is supportive, all governments are supportive. So specifically, if you ask, is there any policy interventions? No. But generically at a macro level, just support this whole space of generative AI. And we're not looking for incentives necessarily, but we're looking for ease of the environment in which this can flourish.
Right. My final set of questions, Mr. Goenka. In India right now or globally, are there any new business verticals which you're exploring or wanting to get into?
Chemicals is something that we entered recently, and we intend growing very aggressively in that. The battery chemical space, the EV battery space, that's something that we are looking at aggressively, and our first nanosilica plant will actually get commissioned in the next 6 months in Gujarat. So that's something that we are very excited about. We are getting into nutraceuticals, which we launch in October, November. And that's purely plant-based and herbal-based, inspired by Ayurveda. That is something that we are very excited about. So a lot of it is based on IP, it is based on research, and it'll be based on technology.
Right. And finally, on the consumer business, you've been working towards profitability on that front. What's your prediction for the consumer business?
Tuyum has taken off as a brand, and it's begun to. It's now clocking a beat rate of about 600 crores annually, which is not bad from where we started a few years ago. We break even when we get to 1,000 crores. And that should happen by 28.
All right, that was Sanjiv Goenka speaking to CNBC-TV18 about the latest investment and an announcement towards expansion in Australia. We're taking a short break here on News Centre, but coming up, shares of Bajaj Auto hit a lifetime high, crossing 12,000 rupees mark. Rajiv Bajaj says shares can actually hit 20,000 rupees mark, adds exports are doing well, and Freedom and Chetak have gained traction. Exclusive conversation coming up.